It's very close. Some polls are showing actually that the outgoing mayor of Paris is on top. So it's a very, very close race in Marseille, as was expected, was maybe not expected, is really, although we could see it coming, the poor performance of the traditional right candidate, Martine Vassal, who really performed poorly, but enough to be able to stay in the second round. You need to cross the 10% threshold. The candidate of France and Bal, Sébastien Delogu, will also stay with 12%. This could be the key for the election because we know that the outgoing socialist mayor, as the socialists nationally have said, no, we don't want to have anything to do with LFI. We don't like them. Jean-Luc Mélenchon is an anti-Semite, and so on and so forth. No national alliance. But then, when push comes to shove, obviously, you have until Tuesday, 6 p.m. to decide whether you stay on, whether you make an alliance, because the left could say, oh, there's a danger of Marseille being won by the national rally, so we'll forget our disagreements, and eventually one would call for the other to vote for him. So there's a possibility that the mayor of Marseille, Benoît Payan, could be reelected. It's obviously a big if. So this is not such a surprising result. The most surprising result is the one we have in Paris, probably, because clearly the polls are showing that Emmanuel Grégoire has over 10% lead on Rachida Dati. This was not expected. The polls were actually showing them neck and neck. Some were even showing that Rachida Dati would come out on top. She's way behind Emmanuel Grégoire, who spoke a few minutes ago. When you start speaking, it's obviously when you're happy. Rachida Dati still hasn't spoken. So clearly, it's a big win for him in the first round. The question is what happens in the second round, because there again, you have other candidates who were able to stay. Center-right candidate Pierre-Yves Bournazel, and also the LFI candidate, Sophia Chikirou, polling around 12%. The big question mark is over the far-right candidate, Sarah Knafo. She's hovering around 10%. 10%, if you're over 10%, you can stay. If you're under, you cannot. We don't know at this time. This might hold the key for the future election, because if she can stay, and if there is an alliance between, let's say, Rachida Dati, Pierre-Yves Bournazel on the center-right, and Sarah Knafo on the far-right, this could mean Rachida Dati could win. It will also mean that she would go back on a promise not to make an alliance with the far-right. But if you want to win, sometimes you're ready to make any concessions. We'll have to see. But Emmanuel Grégoire, clearly, he had a difficult campaign because the outgoing mayor, the socialist, Anne Hidalgo, clearly did not choose him as her heir. She wanted someone else, but he was able to impose himself. And clearly this is a surprise that he is in such a good position. So it's a good result for the central left.